So behind the barrier for the $1 million Australian Guineas today at Flemington. It's been a great feature since it was first introduced in 1986. And let's go after the correct weight. Shoals winning the Group 1 surround in Sydney. To you, Scott, from Ladbrokes for the market mover for the Guineas.
Now, they've nibbled away at a couple here, Bruce, but our market mover will be the 2, the Darren Weir-trained Cliff's Edge. Jumping from barrier 15 will be very, very hard to run down.
So Cliff's Edge, horse number 2, the market mover for the Guineas.
They're running for $1 million. First prize be close to 600,000, but they're running for so much more if they're a colt. When you look at some of the previous winners of this race and what it does for their stallion career, arguably the greatest we've seen in New Zealand since Sir Tristram Zabeel winning the race. Flying Spur, Pins, Dash for Cash, Reset, Seamus Ward, Wandjina, Palantino are now all standing at stud. For the owners, this is a life-changing moment.
Yeah, and we'll see Addictive Nature here, who they would love to get a Group 1 into, a son of Savabeel.
I might have to rip up my ticket there. It's one of the 3 that I was keen to play each way, and he's playing up.
And the other one that's played up is Aloysia. Threw Luke Nolan in the mounting yard, and she didn't look great on the way to the barrier as well. It's a bit like she looked before the Oaks. So this bloke not happy, Craig Williams, getting off Addictive Nature. I mean, you're right, Richo. I mean, it's like the Caulfield Guineas, and there's a Coolmore stud, obviously. Golden Slipper's number 1. But it's a stallion-making race, this one, in many ways. It's sort of a mirror of the Caulfield Guineas. There are 2 great mile races for 3-year-old colts and fillies, and in Victoria, Caulfield Guineas, and also this one. The Randwick Guineas comes up next week now in Sydney, worth $1 million as well.
It'll be interesting to see whether any horse would consider backing up or entering into both and completing the double. We saw Mosheen go and have a crack at a Randwick Guineas. The mighty Weekend Hustler went up and won a Randwick Guineas.
And Addictive Nature's done the opposite in a way. He's decided to come 1 week earlier and maybe thinks that the Kemantaris and those horses might be a half a notch up on this very good group, but that's all to play out. But he's riderless for the moment. Craig Williams allowing him to settle, and hopefully all will be okay and they'll get him into the barriers.
They're flight animals, and you noticed, Bruce, as you said to our audience, you noticed a change come through, and there's a very windy, and out the back there, right out into the wind there, he's certainly been affected, and at the moment Craig Williams, well, you've got an outstanding horseman that did the right thing and get off and let the colt just settle down a touch before you get on board. The question being is how much energy is he wasting doing that?
If you backed him, you're not happy, are you? I mean, you don't throw your ticket completely away, but you're not happy. Mighty Boss goes up, 100-to-1 winners of the Caulfield Guineas. He's already done what he had to do as a horse. He's not a single-doubt colt, so he's worth a king's ransom. But this would be something to add to the CV in a big way.
And for Darren Weir, a Peaceful State going forward, as dominant as he's been, to win a Group 1 with a colt for Mr. Yoshida, the dominant owner of Japan, would be quite an extraordinary fillip for his business.
Weary's done so much in the last few years. He wouldn't have had a lot of runners in this race yet to win it. Just looking back, Ollie first won the race in 1996 on Flying Spur, who'd won the Golden Slipper the year before. He won it in 2001 on Mr. Murphy. So leading jockeys all time, 2 wins, Craig Williams, Damien Oliver. 2 of those. Craig Newitt didn't get a ride in the end, did he? No, he didn't. And Greg Childs, Jordan's father, won it a couple of times as well. So it's been a hard race to dominate for a jockey. So for Ollie, it's been a long time.
It certainly has. And he's been stuck on that 107 Australian Group 1s for a while, 111 in his career. He's very keen to go past a few milestones in the twilight of his career.
So you're talking about the George Moore record here if he's able to win today?
Well, that's where this is a debate that we haven't got time for in regards to how many Group 1s George has in Australia, but and Roy Higgins as well. But it'll be 108 Australian and 112 all up. So all we know is it's rarefied air.
And Matt Hill about to call the 2018 Australian Guineas.
6. Cliff's Edge takes an outside stall, and that will leave Grunt. Be a pretty strong headwind for them in the home straight here. A field of 16 for the $1 million Australian Guineas as Grunt goes up and the field is locked away. Mr. So-and-so wants to rise in barrier number 5. Attendants clamber in. Set to go. Gates are back and they're racing in the Guineas. Mighty Boss towards the inside, away fairly. Black Sail out well with Addictive Nature, who's forcing forward, and from the deep Lavendi, Bring Me Roses just behind those horses. Cliff's Edge is pushing forward as well, and Grunt is moving forward in a hurry. So as they reach the 1300, Addictive Nature joined and headed by Cliff's Edge from Lavendi. Black Sail fourth on the outside of Bring Me Roses. Grunt's going to slot in on the outside of Embellish from Peaceful State. Two further back is Villamont, Mighty Boss, Salsa More, then Main Stage, Murakeb, Aloysia, Holy Snow. Mr. So-and-so is last of all at the 1,000 metres. Cliff's Edge is the leader by a length and a half. Lavendi, 3 lengths, Addictive Nature. A length away is Black Sail, the outside, followed by Bring Me Roses. Further back is Grunt, about 8 off the lead from Embellish, Peaceful State, Mighty Boss, and next in the field is Villamont from Salsa More. Well back is Murakeb and Main Stage, and then came Aloysia, Holy Snow, and Mr. So-and-so is last around the corner. 500 metres to go in the $1 million Australian Guineas, and it's Cliff's Edge in front by about 3 lengths around the turn. From in second place, Bring Me Roses, who rails through, followed by Addictive Nature. Grunt to the outside from Peaceful State. Main Stage, Villamont into the clear. Cliff's Edge at the 300 metres. 2.5, Bring Me Roses, they're getting closer. Grunt, Peaceful State, and Villamont down the outside. Cliff's Edge at the 150. Grunt, Bring Me Roses, and Peaceful State. Grunt lifts in the middle at the 50. Peaceful State going with it. Grunt and neck, Peaceful State. Grunt fights, it's a trier, it's a winner. Grunt wins it from Peaceful State, Bring Me Roses, Villamont, followed by Holy Snow. Murakeb, Salsa More, Embellish, Main Stage. Cliff's Edge got the stitch, followed by Addictive Nature. Black Sail, Aloysia didn't come on. Mighty Boss, Mr. So-and-so, and Lavendi, a long last.